So the Prime Minister has announced that Britain will take part in an international mission to rescue the Yazidi people trapped in the mountains of northern Iraq. But he's still resisting growing calls from some in his own party for RAF involvement in airstrikes on Islamic State extremists. David Cameron returned a day early from his holiday to chair a meeting of the Emergency Cobra Committee. In a moment, we'll speak to our correspondent in northern Iraq and in Washington. But first, our political correspondent, Michael Crick, has this report.
Back from his holidays several hours earlier than expected, the PM took charge at once today, injecting a new urgency to Whitehall. You always jump to it when the boss is back, said one source. The Cobra Committee he chaired this lunchtime quickly agreed to Britain joining multinational plans to rescue the many thousands of Yazidis trapped on Mount Sinjar.
We need a plan to get these people off that mountain and get them to a place of safety. And I can confirm that detailed plans are now being put in place and are underway, and that Britain will play a role in delivering them.
Those plans partly involve 4 British Chinook helicopters now on their way down across Europe and due to reach the British base at Akrotiri in Cyprus overnight. But will just 4 Chinooks really have the capacity to make much difference?
It's hard to know how many people are there. I've heard the number of 30,000. 4 Chinooks in one lift could perhaps lift about 200, 220 people. Might be able to do more. Depending on the distances, they could do, say, 10 lifts a day. So they're certainly not looking at moving 30,000 people in one day. I imagine Britain won't be the only people contributing to this, and you'd end up with an aviation task force that could lift a lot more than just the 4.
Kurdish protesters in Whitehall, though, want Britain to do a lot more. So do a growing number of MPs who want Britain to give military help.
Defence Secretary, are we going to carry out any more airstrikes in Iraq? Are we going to support the American efforts?
Michael Fallon wouldn't say, but a Tory predecessor as Defence Secretary, Liam Fox, today wrote of policy paralysis in the West. Where we have needed leadership, Fox said, we have found a vacuum. But the holidays seem to have slowed Whitehall down, along with other factors. Decisions on Iraq are almost inevitably influenced by 2 big political events, both past and future. First, would it be wise for the government to resume any hostilities in Iraq with an election less than 9 months away? Second, ministers are haunted by what happened this time last year, when 30 Tory rebels combined with Labour to stop ministers intervening militarily in Syria. But things are different this time. Indeed, some MPs most opposed to acting in Syria are now most up front in urging Britain to join America in using force in Iraq. But David Cameron stresses the aid programme and today's refugee plans are purely humanitarian. But could Britain get sucked into military action anyway?
Any humanitarian mission in an active war zone always has an ineradicable combat component, whether that is identifying ISIS threats on the ground and neutralizing them, securing helicopter landing sites, making sure there are no other threats present, and of course always being prepared for a rescue mission should a helicopter crash, as of course a Kurdish helicopter did only days ago.
Beyond Whitehall, things are speeding up. France today pledged to help arm the Kurds. Washington announced that as well as aid and arms, they've now sent military advisors too. And European foreign ministers plan an emergency meeting on Friday to decide what more the EU should do.